In this edition, more cutlass-wielding robbers strike, Royal Westmoreland is expanding, and St. Barnabas reach NETBALL'S knockout final. Welcome to Nation News for Thursday, March the 27th, 2014.
At Courts, every day we bring affordability, convenience, innovation, and style to over 1 million customers in 11 countries. From homes to communities, we are proud to make a difference in the lives of many across the region. Courts, bringing value home.
Police are on the hunt for two masked men who robbed an elderly couple on Wednesday evening. The men, who were armed with cutlasses, confronted Hudson and Alice Broom at their Richmond Plantation St. Peter home around 6:30. They took an undisclosed amount of cash as well as a white Chevrolet with registration number E234. Anyone with information on the incident is asked to contact the police. On Wednesday, another cutlass-wielding bandit robbed a couple on Blackrock Road. Some primary school children are said to have complained of body pains after an accident involving a transport board school bus and an open-back jeep, which occurred just after 8 o'clock in Duncan St. Philip. Over a dozen children were on the bus, but they did not immediately complain of injuries and walked to the school just 400 meters away. However, within an hour, two guardians were back on the scene to report that some children were feeling pain. The driver of the bus told Nation News that it slid around a corner because of the wet road and found itself in the way of the van, which clipped its right front side. Attorney General Adriel Brathwaite says there's a need for improved relations between government and the media. Mr. Brathwaite was a guest of the nation's first editorial forum for the year on Wednesday.
I would like us to have a better working relationship so that this concept of things dropping off the truck, etc., will become a thing of the past. And that's why I am all in favor of having the Freedom of Information Act. As presently drafted, it would call, each ministry would have an information officer.
A private sector leader has called on politicians to stop attacking people who speak out on what's going on in the economy and society. Chairman of the Barbados Private Sector Association, Alex MacDonald, told a business luncheon that it was becoming increasingly difficult to comment without being labeled as a political agent for one party or the other. He said this has to stop since it was stifling creative ideas and approaches. Businessman Ralph Busy Williams said those who speak out are often lambasted by officials and no one comes to their defense.
Is there any unity in the private sector? There isn't much. My experience is that there is none. We sit down in a meeting and we agree on a policy, and you step outside the door, and not only outside the door, somebody is trying to undo what has been agreed. That is the big problem.
Royal Westmoreland is expanding. According to the Telegraph newspaper of London, the resort's British owner, John Moffat, has just bought an additional 210 acres of land on the edge of the 500-acre West Coast site, and development is proceeding apace. Royal Westmoreland, famed for its luxury villas and golf course, is marking its 20th anniversary this year. Some of its celebrity owners include Wayne Rooney, Michael Vaughan, and Virginia Wade. Across the region now, a St. Lucian road construction worker is dead following a freak accident which left him buried under a pile of rocks and dirt. Co-workers say the incident happened just minutes after a truck drove past the project site, undermining the soil. The opposition Antigua Labour Party plans to picket Parliament on Friday unless Prime Minister Baldwin Spencer dissolves Parliament and announces an election date. Opposition leader Gaston Brown says this will kick off a series of activities over the next 10 days intended to force the Prime Minister's hand. Mr. Spencer has maintained that ongoing court cases and uncertainty about the readiness of the Electoral Commission have tied his hands in calling the election date. Antiguans last voted on March 12, 2009. In sport, Pine Hill St. Barnabas are through to the final of the NETBALL'S senior knockout competition after defeating UWI Blackbirds 43-35 on Wednesday night. National shooter Laurel Brown sank 30 goals from 32 attempts as St. Barnabas pulled away from their opponents in the third quarter. Shamika Wharton led Blackbirds with 24 goals from 29 attempts. The second semi-final is between Spooners Hill and Wolverines. A Swedish family suffered the shock of a lifetime when they discovered that the kitchen mouse that had their cat running around in circles was in fact a gigantic monster rat. The rat measured 15 inches without its tail and had made it into the family's flat by gnawing a tunnel between a wooden panel and concrete. An industrial trap was set and caught the rodent, but it ran off with the trap around its neck and eventually died after getting stuck and choking to death. And that's Nation News for Thursday.